Hello, EnderSword here again. This time I'm here with a special guest. This is Protoss player, former Rain player, Future, that is been a coach of mine for quite a while, and he's going to walk us through one of his builds in a PvC match. Say hi, Future.
Hey, thanks for having me, Ender.
No problem. Tell us what you're going to show us here today, and we'll get started.
Sure. It's going to be kind of a standard Forge Fast Expand into some Stalker pressure in the mid game, and then from there, kind of based on what I guess you read from your opponent, you'll take your third.
All right. Yep. So it kind of makes sense. And whenever you're ready, let's go on 3, 2, 1, and we'll do it at 2 times speed. Go.
Okay.
So obviously you start mining. That's absolutely key.
Yep.
Yeah. And your opponent for this is Iglex, our Zerg player down here.
Yep. This is just a random game from the ladder. So yeah, he's a high master player. So yeah, pretty good opponent. But yeah, let's kind of expand on what I was saying. Yeah, it's gonna be just kind of like what you generally see, but there's a little twist with the mid game here. Instead of going for the standard like +1 zealots off 4 gates you'd see, or maybe a Stargate, you actually rush out like 3 or 4 stalkers off 2 gates, kind of like a PvP opening, just with stalkers. Because the Zergs, if he's going quick 3 hatch, he's gonna be delaying his speed, so you can have a lot of map control with those stalkers.
Right.
And even if he goes the roaches, you can still get the stalkers away safely, and maybe even micro pick off a couple roaches here and there. So I really kind of like this this mid game. Really secures you, and then you can knock out those pesky overlords around your base as well.
Yeah.
The sentries take forever to kill those guys.
For sure. Yeah, especially with the speed increase. That can be annoying. They just tickle them to death eventually.
Yep.
Right, now I noticed you put a pylon in the front. I'll tend to wall that off with a building. Is there a reason that it just leaves a good space there? Or?
Yeah, I like having the ability to kind of go outside my base. If I lock in, like if I do a full seal, it's Zerg might get a little too comfortable. But if I leave that little hole there, you know, they're gonna kind of respect it. And if I do even move out with a couple units, he's gonna make attack units. Where if I didn't have that hole there, I'd have to either kill it, or Zerg would be like, oh, okay, yeah, you're just staying in your base doing something tricky.
Right.
And then if something crazy happens, I can always wall it off with a pylon or another gate. I should have put the cannon up top, because then I could sealed it with another gateway and had a nice three wall seal, 3 building seal.
So he's being a little. He's on 3 base already.
Yep.
And you kind of poke out with just that single stalker. I always get scared to do that.
Yeah, you can't have it surrounded, so you gotta be careful. But if he didn't go gas first, you're pretty safe. He's not usually gonna open up speed, and you would see a large amount of Zerglings anyway. But if for whatever reason you see him opening speed, then don't do this.
Don't poke out.
Yeah, don't poke
exactly.
out.
They become very vulnerable.
Yep.
And then the drones catch one here.
Oh, nice surround by him there. Still got my row at a pretty early time, so it's kind of like the 4 gates, just with 2 gates and you know, a lot less units. You can really power your economy a little bit harder with this. You can get a lot more kills with these. I even had some Zerg players just outright quit when the 4 stalkers get to their third, because they just miss micro a couple Zerglings or lose a couple drones and they just get flustered.
Is there any sort of keys that you're looking for that says that you can't do this? That indicates like that roaches will be out, or something that would just kind of stop this aside from just speedlings?
Really, just speedlings. Like, I'm not really worried about anything else. And it's also acts as a scout too. So like, if he didn't take his third, although I usually confirm that with a probe anyway, but if I get to his third and there's no third there, I'm probably getting all in, so I can quickly prepare for it. But yeah, really only speedlings is going to shut this down, and then from there you just can transition into kind of a safer, just like sentry robo expand on third. And their key part is getting this obs out. So I have this observer kind of above his main army at his natural. So I know he's going for that roach pressure. Not going to get surprised by mutas. No infestor builds. So I know what I'm doing. Going for that Stalker Colossus Sentry. Oh yeah. He rallied a Portable Cross. Luckily caught that. That would have been quite the nice donation for him.
the old hallucinated or fake hallucinated immortal scat.
Yep.
Pretty standard. Pretty standard.
Stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to be a Phoenix, guys.
And also, this is key to having. You don't even have to have a full wall at your third, but have some structures there to kind of help your force fielding. Gives you also something to fall back on. But the thing now is he's going with his maxed roach army, and he can't really find, can't really get an opening there. So it's kind of tough for him.
Yeah,
and then from there, I'll usually have an observer like on his lair, so I can monitor when he gets hive and when my timing's there. But I kind of want to hit this timing right now. Usually after I've been on my third, I'll usually move out around 160 supply. I feel that's a safe time to move out against the Zerg. And then just kind of push and kind of gauge it from there. And also, like, he is getting his hive. Even though I don't see it, I feel pretty confident with 2 Colossi, and I'm starting to get close to max. So I want to do damage to him right now. And I see he's still got a lot of roaches, so I'm going to enjoy that with force fields and a blink. And then he does something very odd here.
That is weird.
Yeah. Generally, Zergs actually have been doing this lately, like when they're doing that roach pressure on your third, they'll get the drops a lot earlier and drop in your main, but yeah, you don't want really dropping roaches on my army, but it wasn't too bad for him though. He got rid of all my sentries.
Colossus sentries are just not really good against the blink, which I don't know if you'd even shown blink at that point.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, yeah, it didn't go too well for him, but it wasn't, like, game-ending. But I definitely have advantage right now. But again, another key thing from there, I put my 4th up behind this. I didn't go all in. I put my 4th up behind this, so if I do need to fall back, or if it does go past that push, I have another base. I have somewhere to send my probes. And there's a queen.
I noticed he has a queen at your 4th. Yeah. I don't know how that got there, but that is interesting.
I don't know either. He almost killed my Stalker too. I had to warp in another Zealot because queens are pretty good at attacking, even though that's not their role.
Tell a Terran that. They're a little upset with them.
So that's me really active these blink Stalkers. Kind of abusing terrain here. Also keep making sure like he doesn't have infestors. Once the infestors out, I gotta be super careful. He's being really annoying with these Stalkers. His army's quite large though, so he's gonna come to my 4th really soon. I'm also gonna do a counterattack at his 3rd to really kind of put him at the test here, because he's actually in pretty good shape here with his army. Because even though like the roach drop seemed kind of silly, he did remove all my sentries and all my colossi.
Right.
So I'm kind of stuck with this blink Stalker army. But my Stalkers as a 3rd, like these little counterattacks are so huge. Trying to do little things like, you'd be surprised that 4 or 5 Stalkers can go a long way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you definitely get a lot of use of them.
Yep.
Yeah, and even here when it almost looks like he's overrunning, you're just buying that time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I have that 5th base down at the bottom right, so when I do need, if I can have my probes run somewhere. So, I do kind of have a backup plan, even if he kills both those bases. Because I just need to buy time, get some Archons out. I even get a Void Array out, because I was going for Mothership, but I'm kind of, like, low economy right now, so I can't really afford one. But I'm getting Void Array out, because I noticed, like, he's, like, Roach Ultra Ling, so it's like, okay, yeah, 1 Void Array is actually quite nice there. And then kind of spend some of the surplus gas I have, just getting some base Archons, and also teching up the Storm as well. just a nice little standard PvZ with a little different mid game. Because generally, like I said, the mid game is going to be those 4-gate plus 1 zealots or some Stargate harass. But I really like kind of the Stalker push because it kind of takes advantage of the metagame a little bit, where Zergs usually just get the gas for the roaches and they don't get Zergling speed. So you can really make 3 or 4 Stalkers go a long way, and you can also secure map control that way. You know, getting your third up and securing it, because once that third is up with some cannons and some gateways, you're going to be in really good shape against that kind of Stefano style roach aggression.
That definitely makes sense. Yeah, it's I guess one key that I'll always kind of miss out in these games is really transitioning from that one end game tech to the other, from Colossus into the Archons into, say, well, in this case Void Rays, but usually obviously your mothership, and you almost seem to make that transition literally while he was attacking your third and fourth to really kind of move in, which has got to feel awkward, but ends up obviously working there, especially with +3 on those Archons. They're just deadly.
Yeah, because I mean that's a big error like a lot of Protosses make. They stay on Stalker Colossus the whole game, and then you just wonder why Broodlord Infestor kills them.
Yeah.
I mean, even though like it was forced to like one of those scrappy low economy games after the big fight, like I was preparing like it was gonna be like one of those high economy games where I did get my Templar archives out, because that's a building you get when you're on your 4th base. That's not a building you get when you're on your 3rd base or your 2nd base. That's a 4th base building because it's so gas intensive. But you absolutely need those high Templars for feedbacks on the infestors, also storms on the broodlords, and even storms on your own stalkers, so you can kind of clear out broodlings if you're out of colossi.
Oh yeah.
You don't have anything to clear out the broodlings. You can't go toe to toe with the Zerg army. Right. And then also as well teching up to my mothership, because that's something I need to keep getting in my games. I usually get the mothership way too late when like he's pushing me and I only have 130 supply. It's not going to do much. So it's important to keep growing with the game, because the Zerg's doing it. The Zerg's constantly teching up, while Protoss sometimes just sticks on, Stalker Colossus, maybe throws some DTs in there, but for the most part, they kind of just get tunnel vision and feel like, yeah, more Stalkers, good, but
yeah.
You get those other tech structures. It's very important.
Yeah, always. It seems like the thing you need at the time, and yeah. Exactly. All right, so good look at that. I think we're going to do another one of these shortly, but Future, tell everyone where they can find you and what you do, and how people can get coaching from you. Yeah,
sure. Well, you guys can find me. My Twitter is future_SC. It's going to be the same as my Twitch TV, so you can follow me on Twitter or follow me on Twitch. That's great places you can find me, and also on the NA server. Channel Future, a lot of the people from my stream hang out in there, so if you want to like talk to me, or maybe even find some practice partners in there, a lot of good players, all skill levels kind of hang out in there. And then also if you're interested in coaching, I'm over at ghosttocoaching.com. I'm doing $25 an hour this month, so take advantage of that, so you can kind of get a lesson over there, or contact me at future@ghosttocoaching.com. That's my email I use. So any questions at all, even if you're skeptical, let me know, and I'll answer them over email.
All right. And he is a great coach. I've kind of been with you, I think, from gold up to, I guess, high diamond today. Yeah. So, or at least today I am. But yeah, it's been good. And one of the cheaper guys out there for the quality and how many hours you've done. I think you've been you're like the top 1 or 2 people on Ghost Coaching or something. Yeah,
I've been doing. I think I have close to 800 hours.
Yeah,
but been doing it full time for about a year, a little over a year and a half.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, and we'll do another one of these shortly.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.